many, Pakistan is a model country for the Muslim world. But for the millions of people from minority communities who live there, it's a very different story. On August the 11th, 1947, Pakistan's founder, Mohammad Ali Jinnah, spelled out his vision for the new nation. He envisaged a country based on religious freedom. More than 50 years on, Pakistan is far from that vision of equality for all citizens. In recent years, there has been a marked increase in attacks on religious minorities. People have been killed, places of worship desecrated.
Pakistan is going through a phase of violence which it has never known in the past because of terrorism, and there is so much sectarian violence. Mosques are being bombed, innocent people are being killed, Shias and Sunnis are fighting, and naturally the minorities come in the same frame and they suffer with attacks on churches, on temples, and the Pakistan government seems to be incapable at present of controlling these atrocious developments.
But not everyone shares this view. People are suffering on a daily basis. They face persecution at the hands of extremists who believe their actions are justified. The quiet town of Godhra in the Punjab province will never be the same after a violent mob set fire to Christian homes. 8 people were killed. It was claimed the attack came following reports that Christians had desecrated the Holy Quran.
We're very concerned that people involved at the centre of those attacks are either still free or have been released on bail, and that we know that certain key victims are fearful and living in fear, genuine fear.
This woman has lost her home and told us she's had to send her children and grandchildren away to live with relatives. She told Pukaar News she's been waiting for nearly 10 months for her house to be rebuilt.
We know that the government is beginning to address this, but we ask specifically that this is done in this case so that it's made clear that it's not acceptable to attack a community on the basis of religion or indeed in any circumstances.
This man who lives in Godhra asks where is the justice. He says the people who carried out these murders are still free to walk the streets.
Peoples of the Godhra city, they are victims.
He explained to Pukaar News that the people living in the town remain victims of a crime that happened almost a year ago.
I have appealed to please look the Godhra city peoples now.
There have been countless similar incidents. Other communities have also been targeted. Bloodshed and violence a common theme. Ahmadis in Pakistan have faced persecution for decades. More than 80 people were killed when gunmen launched simultaneous raids on 2 Ahmadi mosques in Lahore. Many worshippers from the UK were caught up in indiscriminate firing. Some were in the main hall when they heard gunshots.
One of the terrorists, he tried to come inside the mosque, and the people tried to stop him outside, but his gun was inside the door and he was shooting on the people.
It's not just my uncle that I've lost, it's all these other people that I've lost, my brothers, man. So yeah, it's really sad. I mean, often when I'm just laying down and I'm thinking about it, I start crying because it's so sad.
Many Orthodox Muslims view Ahmadis as non-Muslims. The Ahmadiyya community takes its name from its founder, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, who was born in 1835 and was regarded by his followers as the Messiah and a prophet. How do people feel about being classed as non-Muslim?
To be honest, they are finding it extremely shocked and heartbroken. You know, we believe in the same teachings as all other Muslims. We believe in the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the God and the same 5 pillars of Islam. But there are a lot of fabrications and lies that are being spread by the other Muslims, and many of the extremist mullahs are stirring the groups and applying political pressure, which is then allowing them to gain power and cause these type of attacks. The general motto of the Ahmadi Muslim community is love for all, hatred for none.
Hindus and Sikhs who were born in Pakistan say they've been made to feel unwelcome in their own country. They too have suffered. Incidents of rape are rife, and news of 2 Sikhs who were beheaded in April sent shockwaves around the world. Just 24 hours later, another Sikh was abducted from Peshawar and held hostage. He was threatened with execution unless a ransom was paid. When he was released, he said he genuinely feared for his life. Behind all the hatred, the intolerance and inequality lies a set of laws which are used and abused by many to spread fear and anxiety. Pakistan's controversial blasphemy laws have led to people being killed and falsely imprisoned.
If you have bad laws, they will always come back to haunt you. So the best thing for them is to be repealed. My own feeling is that, we are told by our Muslim brothers and sisters that the Prophet of Islam, when he was insulted, he forgave those who insulted him. So how can you now have a law that prescribes mandatorily the death penalty for insulting him? It seems to me contrary to his own practice.
It's most unlikely that Pakistan will succeed, even if it wanted to repeal the blasphemy law. What I would advocate is a gentle application of the law with full understanding of what it really means. It does not mean that you've got to go and kill people, you've got to go and hit people, you've got to go and be violent. But there is mass hysteria. Whenever you talk of the blasphemy law in Pakistan and someone is being tried, there is an element of hysteria that begins to build up because of the sacrilege, the outrage. See, all that needs to be brought in its true perspective and the law applied correctly.
There's a strong sense of feeling from all the minority groups that not enough is being done by the government to end the senseless attacks.
Is that we need an early warning system. We need local communities to have telephone numbers and points of contact with trusted people who can be warned about, for example, if somebody starts preaching hate from a nearby mosque, so that the action that the government takes can be taken before there is violence.
Unfortunately, the authorities, although they make all the right sounds, but have not been able to do anything about it. And part of the issue may be that it is beyond them now. The whole thing has infiltrated so deep into the society that it is beyond them. They cannot do anything. And they have tried to, appease them. And now the debate is going on that although they have captured over 3,000 terrorists in Pakistan, but very shortly after that they're released.
But it's part of a pattern which I've become aware of over the last decade as MEP for London, and of course that's led me to write to the British Home Secretary William Hague to ask him to make representations to the Pakistani government to enforce the law really in Pakistan to protect people.
We tried to contact the Pakistan High Commission here in London for an interview, but nobody was available to comment.
We want justice! We want justice! We want justice!
Do you think the situation in Pakistan is likely to change the way that Christians are treated?
Yes, we should be hopeful, and if we are working hard, praying and keeping in touch with other people, especially those whom are in problem, and especially with those whom have potential to make problems. If we are trying to impart our Christian love and also work to create a better understanding in that situation, of course we are able to bring change, and change will come.
Millions of people want the right to live in a free and fair society where they won't be condemned for their religious views. And they're determined not to become the forgotten minorities of Pakistan.